Yo, what is up? It is Ballpark Bro, and I am back with his off-season grades, Part 2, American League Edition. In Part 1, we did the National League, and this is how the grades turned out. If you guys want an in-depth analysis, I recommend you check out Part 1. Other than that, let's get this American League started. We are starting off with the Los Angeles Angels, and to be fair, they improved definitely from their 2024 season. I like the signing of Kikuchi and Soler. I think they could trade those pieces later on at the trade deadline. Yeah, I think they just got to get more pieces to help that young core of Neto, Ohapi, and Shanwell. Hopefully Trout stays healthy. That'll be a big plus, but overall, I'll give the Angels a C. Next, we are moving on to the Athletics, who will be playing in Sacramento this year. Interesting. Overall, their offseason, let's take a look at the additions. Pretty good. Jeffrey Springs, Luis Severino, pretty good 1-2 punch. Not the best, but pretty solid. Let's see if Rooker and Butler can have a great season again. If so, then this team could maybe push for a wild card. I'm not too exactly sure on that, but I like the offseason. I'm gonna give them a B. Moving on to Houston Astros, and this is an interesting team because they let go of such good names: Tucker, Bregman, Presley, and they brought back Christian Walker, which I do like that signing. Isaac Paredes, I feel like is a little question mark as of now, and then Cam Thomas, really good prospect, so I like that. But I think I like the names more that left Houston. So in that case, I don't think they really improved. I think they lost a lot of good players. So to me, I'm gonna give them a C. It's close to a D, but I will give them a C. The Seattle Mariners are not a team I am confused on. I know exactly what I'm going to give this team as their grade because, man, they are disappointing. They have such a young, talented pitching rotation, a rotation that many teams would love to have, and this is their moves right here. No one in additions and a departure of Yimi Garcia. I think they added Jorge Polanco, but that's no one to me. Come on, Seattle. You have Julio Rodriguez. You have the great pitching staff. Why are we not adding? This is going to sell the team grade. Seattle Mariners, you guys are a disgrace. All right, the last team in the AL West, we got the Texas Rangers, and I really enjoyed their offseason. They added Peterson, they added Jake Berger, they re-signed Nathan Eovaldi. They got rid of big contracts like Nate Lowe and Max Scherzer. Really good offseason. I think they improved, obviously. I think they satisfied the fans. And even for the future, saving that $10 million contract from Lowe and getting Jake Berger for, I think he's making under $1 million. So great offseason. Texas Rangers, you guys get an A. Moving on to the NL Central, and we're starting with the worst team in history last year. I think they got, 41 wins. Disappointing team. Somehow, they got worse. They traded their all-star pitcher, Garrett Crochet. I do like Kyle Teal, the prospect they got in return, but honestly, White Sox, you guys are going on sell the team. You guys are really bad. Moving on over to the Cleveland Guardians, who had a really fun 2024 season, making it all the way to the ALCS. I think they had a pretty good offseason. They got rid of the Andres Gimenez contract. They added Paul Sewell to a already stacked bullpen. They got Shane Bieber back, and they added Carlos Santana, replacing Josh Naylor. So I think they slightly improved. I think they satisfied the fans, and I think they'll be all right for the 2025 season. I'll give them a B. The Tigers had a very surprising 2024 season as they made the playoffs. No one expected them to make it, and they made it. And I'm glad they are adding. I'm glad they're not hesitating to add like some other teams, the Mariners. They added good veterans. Gleyber Torres, Jack Flaherty, Tommy Kahnle all have playoff experience, which they will need because I think they'll make the playoffs. Great offseason for the Tigers. I will be giving them a B. Looking at another playoff team, we got the Royals, who I feel like did not add enough for me. They had added India, Lorenzen, Carlos Estevez, good for the back end bullpen, but I think they needed to enhance that lineup. It was a really weak lineup, if I'm being honest. They didn't score much runs in the playoffs. So if they would have added another outfield bat, a corner outfield bat, like a Tyler O'Neill, I think would have been perfect. But they didn't. They really didn't do much. They slightly improved, but not enough moves for me. I'm gonna give them a C. All right, last team in the AL Central, we got the Minnesota Twins, who, to be honest, have a pretty solid roster already. They didn't really need to add much during the offseason, but I would have liked to seen some bats added to that lineup. I think they're banking on a lot of players this year who are question marks. Royce Lewis, can he stay healthy? Jose Miranda, is he going to be a solid MLB hitter? Carlos Correa, is he going to bring that bat back up? So a lot of question marks. I think a bat or two that would have not been a question mark in the lineup would have been good. But overall, they have a solid roster. They didn't need to add. Let's go ahead and give them a C. Heading on over to the AL East, we are starting off with the Baltimore Orioles, who have disappointed me. They should be out here having one of the better off seasons of the 2025 season. Instead, they added a lot of supporting pieces. They have such a good young core, and the least they could have done was at least re-sign Corbin Burns, but they didn't. I like Sugano, yes, for 13 mils, not bad, but I feel like that rotation is so weak. And if we're comparing this rotation to all the other teams in the AL East, I think it's very lackluster. So Orioles, you guys are getting a D. The Red Sox had one of the better off seasons in the American League. They started off by trading for Garrett Crochet, their next ace for the next couple years. Really like that trade. They added Walker Buehler for not too expensive. I like that deal. Aroldis Chapman, we'll see what he gives the Red Sox, but I mean, it's another arm in the bullpen. And late in the offseason, they got Alex Bregman. We'll see where he ends up playing. I think they'll figure it out, but man, the Red Sox are in such a good position. With the offseason like this, I can really see the Red Sox atop of the AL East. So because of that, they're going to get a grade of S. Good job, Red Sox. Going over to the Bronx, we are going to be talking about the Yankees now, who lost Juan Soto over to the Mets. And when you lose Juan Soto, you're going to have a bad offseason. I'm sorry. They lost Juan Soto, they lost Gleyber Torres, and they added a lot of good pieces. Cody Bellinger, Max Fried, Devin Williams. I mean, really good pieces to add for this season, but the lineup is still very thin for me, and I don't like that lineup at all. I like the rotation a lot, but the lineup is what scares me. Overall, as an offseason, losing Soto, yes, big blow, but they did add pieces. I like how they didn't give up. They still added Cody Bellinger. They still added Max Fried. They tried, but losing Juan Soto, that's just such a deal breaker. So for me, they're going to get a B. The Tampa Bay Rays, the team that we all know won't spend in the offseason. Yep, they are one of the cheaper teams in the majors right now, so we obviously know they won't spend the offseason. But surprisingly, they signed a pretty big player in Ha-Seong Kim, a good 4-WAR player usually because of his glove. If he has a good season with the bat, who knows what he could do. But good signing with Ha-Seong Kim. I don't like that they lost Jeffrey Springs. I thought he was a pretty good pitcher and could have really bolstered that rotation. Overall, though, I don't think they really need to sign much. You know, they're a pretty good team already. I just wish they would have signed a couple more bats. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a C. The last team in the AL is the Toronto Blue Jays, and boy, were they very unlucky this offseason. They were basically in on everybody, but failed to get a lot of good stars. But they ended up having good signings in Max Scherzer, Santander. I like the Jeff Hoffman signing. They did trade for Andres Jimenez. Who knows how that will pan out, but overall, after a pretty bad 2024 season, they definitely did improve, so I will give them that. I really wish they would have re-signed Vladdy, though. That would have been a higher grade in the offseason. I think they did do a good job this offseason, though, so they will be getting a B for me. Well, there you have it. All 30 MLB teams this offseason have been graded. As you can tell, a lot of these AL teams were on the lower end of these grades, which kind of sucks to see. Hopefully the AL isn't as weak as people are projecting it to be. But overall, I think it was a great offseason. A lot of cool storylines that went in and out of this. We are now into the spring training. We're going to have a lot more storylines going into there. I will be making a predictions video soon, so be on the lookout for that. Again, I appreciate everybody who tuned in. You guys are the best. Be on the lookout for more baseball content from Ballpark Bro. Other than that, Ballpark Bro out.